Hello, my name is Jocelyn. I'm from Salem, Oregon, and one of my favorite hobbies is baking. I also really enjoy going to the mall and going shopping. I really love shopping at Marshalls, although the only thing I buy is stuff for my kids. I'm also a mom. I have two boys. I have a 2-year-old and a almost 1-year-old. He turns 1 in April. A doubt that makes me wonder if I can become a teacher is my public speaking skills. I tend to get really nervous and struggle to find the correct words. For example, when I'm presenting, as well as my voice gets very shaky and I tend to get quieter and quieter the more nervous I get. This makes me doubt my ability because in my opinion, teaching a class has some of the same characteristics as public speaking, as well as you have to be very confident. According to Personal Inventory Survey, my standout reason was education values in society. I believe education is very important based on the circumstance of how my father grew up in comparison to me, who had the opportunity to attend school and college. My father had to drop out of school in 3rd grade due to financial struggle in his home country, and then had to immigrate to the US and start working in fields, either harvesting fruit in the hot sun or cutting pine trees in the very cold winters. These work conditions were very difficult and did not pay well. Because of this, I believe education is quite important for future generations who don't have to work in those conditions. This also, children receiving an education also break cycles. For example, in this example between me and my father, a cycle that was often in our family was worrying about my parents at work. During the hot months that he would work, he would come home very dehydrated, so therefore we would worry about his health. As well as in the winter months, he was not able to afford a winter coat, so he wore a regular sweatshirt to work and would come home very cold. Because of this would create a cycle of us having to worry about my dad at work and how he was, as well as he worried about his parents in the same sense. So therefore, receiving an education will break that cycle. For example, I receiving an education, my children will not have to worry about if I'm dehydrated at work or if I'm really cold. As well as we would worry about our income. This would also make us worry about if we had enough food, which was also a cycle my dad and me and my siblings experienced. So therefore, kind of receiving an education will break it because my children will not have to worry about those things. I believe I am sound becoming a teacher. I agree with a lot of different aspects of what the career consists of, as well as I'm super interested in learning. The more I learn about it, the more interested I become and intrigued. So I'm super excited to be part of this class and learn more about what it means to be a teacher and the education career program here at Western. According to the video, Who is Allowed to Go to School? The right to an education means, in quotation, education becomes a basic human right. I believe the way we should prioritize who receives an education is also based on the video, Who is Allowed to Go to School? Again, it states education is a basic human right. Therefore, I believe children should be prioritized, because they cannot stand up for themselves, in particular young children. Young children are often not heard or not taken serious when they are talking about serious topics, as well as I don't believe kindergarten children or very young children of that age should be worrying about if they are able to go to school or not. I believe children should not have to worry about that. I believe if less than 1 in 5 countries can provide free education, this could possibly be a continuous cycle of children not receiving an education, as well as cycle of poverty. Like mentioned in the video, it is stated that education will be able to change their financial income, which will result in breaking a cycle. Like the cycles I mentioned in the example before, education is really kind of the problem solving factor. So therefore, that's why I believe education is very important in our society. According to the video, Who is Allowed to Go to School? 3 reasons listed why women, girls, people with disabilities, and immigrants are at higher risk of not presented the opportunity of education is because of, in quotations, poverty, conflict, and natural disasters. As indicated in the video, this is also why 263 million children are not able to get an education. I think this is super disappointing and tragic, because although with the cycles the solving factor is an education, but with this it's something that's very difficult to try to solve. It is also mentioned in the video that it is not a problem that they take on as a whole, but instead in sections that they are able to overcome the problem. The EDA is used as a grading rubric. It is possible for the EDA to prevent you from being part of the education program. If you are not following, it is possible for the EDA to prevent you from becoming part of the educational program here at Western if you are not following what you are supposed to do based on the grading sheet. According to the video we watched for this week, it is mentioned that it's okay to get one or a few low marks, I believe. Sorry if I'm incorrect. But you are held at a high standard and are required to get a lot of high marks to enter the educational program at Western. Thank you so much for listening. I'm really looking forward to your class.